Do you know what's fueling your stress? I bet we do. And we've got a great presentation lined up for you from Judy Hahn of Hahn Holistic Health in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Judy, take it from here.
Thanks very much. And I appreciate the opportunity to speak today. My guess is that when you think of sugar, the last thing you think about is that causes stress in the body. But let me give you a couple scenarios here. Okay, so let's say you stop for coffee on your way to work. You know, you get one of those big fancy coffee drinks and you love it because it's sweet, but it's your caffeine and you got a good fix. Did you know that that's the equivalent of about 21 grams of sugar just in that one drink? Now think, your day is not stopping there, right? You continue, you're sitting at your desk. It's mid-morning, it's 10:30ish, and you could eat your desk because you're so hungry. But now you notice things. You notice, I'm not able to focus. I'm kind of short-tempered and irritable. Oh my gosh, I got to go get something. I'm going to be really good. I'm going to go to the cafeteria and I'm going to grab a bagel. I'm going to be so good. No candy bar. I'm not stopping at Joan's desk and picking up all the candy from her desk, right? But guess what? That bagel, that's the equivalent of about another 12 grams of sugar that you're putting in your body and it's going straight into that bloodstream. Now, the problem is that now you got your energy boost, but it doesn't last, right? What goes up must come down. You crash. So now your mind's trying to figure out, okay, what can I do to get my energy back again? Lunchtime's coming really quick. Okay, so oh, darn, I didn't get a chance to pack lunch today. So, and I have that meeting at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to go to that sub shop that's really close and I'm going to get one of those big subs. I think they're 12 inches. And oh yeah, it comes with, extras. It comes with the bag of chips. It comes with that, Mondo size soda, but that'll feel great. I'll be good. And guess what? On top of what you've already had, we're adding about another, ready? 62 teaspoons of sugar. But that's okay because you got your energy back, right? So you head back to the office for that 1 o'clock meeting, but you don't realize that you've already had about 100 teaspoons of sugar. And your blood sugar has been on a super roller coaster. And when that happens in the body, it is automatically stressing the body. And I don't know about you, but when my body is stressed, I'm stressed too. And I know because although that wasn't my particular MO, I did something that had the same results. And it created, are you ready? Depression, anxiety, crying fits. It was just, I called a friend of mine one day, hysterical crying. And she said to me, this is my friend who understands me. She says, did you just have a bunch of ice cream? She was right. So who made that connection between the sugar in that ice cream and my emotion? I know at that time I did not. Of course, I've been learning about health and wellness, about functional medicine, and I work with all my clients on that stuff now. So you would think, right? But at that time, my husband's favorite thing to do was make popcorn in the evening. And I'm not just talking about a little thing of popcorn. I'm talking about popcorn. And we thought we were great. Why? Because it wasn't all the butter. It was like, that air popped popcorn, but it's a high carb food. And who connected that we were having trouble sleeping with the fact that that was triggering our insomnia? Here's the thing. You eat the sugar or your high carbs because it creates a false sense of calm. They call it a fast calm. And it really, there is a thing in the brain that controls that stress level. But I don't want to go into the science side. I just want to give you kind of scenarios so that you understand, because I think that my life at that point in time may be very much like what yours is today. So what happens? You get that sense of calm. And then what happens? You get low blood sugar. You get that crash, the anxiety, the depression, the brain fog, whatever it is. And then guess what? You go on the hunt for more sugar and carbs. And you come by it honestly. I want you to understand not to beat yourself up, because here's one of the things that totally floored me when I learned it. Sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. Unbelievable. True. You can look it up. And so what it does is it lights up the same reward centers in the brain that cocaine does. And that's like the dopamine, that's that happy hormone. So it's one of those things where you get your sugar and it's kind of like the, I feel fine now, right? And I can go on until you crash and start looking for sugar again. But here's the thing, sugar creates inflammation in the body. And the majority of our chronic degenerative diseases are caused by inflammation. Things like heart issues, high blood pressure, diabetes, fibromyalgia. I mean, there's a litany of names that doctors have given those diseases. But what happens is that it's not only just causing inflammation in our body, but our brain. And that's where that brain fog, or that I can't focus, or I'm feeling anxious, that's where that comes from. You can't find your keys, or you can't find the car, or whatever it is. You're coming by it via your sugar addiction. And I'm telling you my life. So I'm a functional medicine health coach, and I have been there and done that. I just learned differently. So remember that sugar doesn't fill you up the same way that protein or fat does. Okay, so that's another reason why you want it more and more. So what I'd like to do now is kind of share with you what can you do to break the cycle. Now, there's one thing that you're going to learn in a minute, and I want you to hold on to your desk if you're at your desk, because this one blew me away. So I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying that moving forward, I'm 69. I know that these changes had to happen if I wanted to live my life as healthy and able to do things as I wanted to, right? Tried over and over again to quit sugar, but it took learning and helping others do this breaking sugar habit that it was a wake-up call for me. And here's the thing. Are you ready? Alzheimer's is called type 3 diabetes. Yes, you heard me. Let me repeat that one more time. Alzheimer's is called type 3 diabetes. So if you think I'm joking around, I am not. I want to move to that older age with this intact, and that means no sugar. I'm over 3 months now without sugar. So here's what I want you to think about. Some easy steps that you can do to break up with sugar. I want you, when you're grocery shopping, stick to the perimeter of the store, not the center. That's where the processed foods are. That's where all the junk is. And I know we love sugar, but it doesn't love us. Okay. So that means you have your meats and your vegetables and all the good things around the perimeter. Stick to that part. Eat 3 meals a day. Make sure that they're not huge meals, but they're enough to provide the energy in your body that you need. Why? Because I find that, remember, obesity is that thing that comes really easily when you start to do this sugar thing. So I think that we have a tendency to think, well, if I just cut out some calories, then I'll be okay. But I want you to understand that the body goes into starvation mode. So when you hold calories back from the body, it gets afraid that it's not going to get food. And so that what it does is it actually holds on to more fat than you would ever want it to do. Think about having protein, vegetables, and healthy fat at each meal, about 15 grams of protein at each meal. And yes, I'm talking about vegetables at breakfast too. Okay. And what you'll find is that combination of food will fuel you so that you might not like want to eat your desk at 10:30. Okay. But if you start the day with all those sugar things, what happens is you're on that wheel, that little hamster wheel, and it says sugar, and it gets to the top and it crashes. And then you want more and it crashes. And the body can only handle so much of that before it breaks down. And yes, you can take medication if you get diabetes, but you know what? Well, I can't go into it because I don't have all the time, but understand that the natural state of the human body is one of health and healing itself. So do whatever it takes to make sure that your body is in a condition that will allow it to heal itself. Medication, just because you feel good, doesn't mean you're healthy. Okay, that's something that if you take nothing else away from this, please understand that when you take medication, it doesn't mean you're healthy. It means you're covering something up. Deal with it, and if you need me, I'm here. But let's go back. Now, my preference would be that, okay, you're not going to like this, but it's okay, that you don't snack. Okay. And there's a really good reason for it. The body needs to, there's a street sweeper in the body called the migrating motor complex. And I'm sorry if I got too science for you, but that guy has to have time to come in and get rid of the garbage, because otherwise that garbage can end up going into your bloodstream and creating what? More inflammation. And that's not what you want. You know what? One of the things that brought me to this place, I don't know if you can see it. You see that little bump on the side of my finger? That was knowing that what I was eating was creating arthritis in my body. And so take my little clues, because my mom's hands were like, knotty. I don't want you to have to deal with it. It's very painful. So pain breaking up with sugar, yes, be careful. Don't go cold turkey. Start to wean yourself off of it, because it is a drug. It will still give you anxiety, fatigue, and symptoms that may be very similar to breaking up with some drug that you've been taking. So I want you to think, lastly, before you grab food, and this is something you may not think of, I want you to think about drinking a glass of water. And I don't mean chugging, because slow will allow the water to actually get into your cells and be used by the body. But there's this really weird thing that happens. We kind of confuse hunger for thirst, right? So just give it a try. Be curious. Give it, play with it. Don't torture yourself over all this, but try to make little bitty changes and see what happens. Because all those little changes, what they do is they add up to one quantum leap in how you feel. And I guess one more thing, and probably the most important thing that I can share with you, is the idea of maintaining a balanced, a stable blood sugar level. And that's so that inflammation is kept to a minimum, and you can be healthier and happier and live your life to the fullest. And so break up with sugar. And if you have questions, go to hahnholistichealth.com or DM me on Facebook, whatever it is. I'm more than happy to answer questions, because knowledge is the power that will get you where you want to be. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. That was really good information. I loved it.
Thank you.
So I'm going to turn the timer off because we don't need it right now. So Judy, do you do an initial consultation, or do you have a special offer for anybody who's watching this video?
Actually, anybody who goes to my website, there's a Focus on Fabulous You link. And that would be 30 minutes of conversation with me. But what is kind of fun is that on that website, and I'll give Denise the link to add to this video, but there is a 6-video series on lowering your toxic load. And of course, the 5 are there. It's like cookware, personal care products, seafood, organic, not organic. And then you get to the most diabolical one, which in my opinion, sugar. So yes, I hope they enjoy it. I know I had fun making it.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for doing this today.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thanks.